Every week I talk to business owners who have been looking into government contracting for like 2, 3, sometimes 5 years. They register on sam.gov, they watch the videos, they attend the webinars, the master classes, and they still have zero contracts. And here's what I figured out. I mean, after what, 13, 14 years of doing this work, of helping so many companies of different industries in construction, in engineering, in IT, cybersecurity, in professional services that are marketing and brand. I mean, so many companies, consulting, coaching, they were not stuck because they weren't ready. They were stuck because nobody ever taught them how to target. Nobody taught them the right sequence and specifically what to do in each step. So today we're going to talk about the T in my five step framework, and targeting is essential. It is in doing the order. So what happens before targeting? Targeting, where we cover, is by far one of the most important steps. And so by the end of this conversation today, this episode, you're going to know exactly where your business should be and where it should be showing up and why you've been looking in the wrong place. So, if we haven't met before, my name is Melinda Cologne. I am a government contracting expert. I am a enterprise value architect, and I've helped my clients achieve over 5.8 billion in contracts since 2020. We have a win rate of 74%. And because my company, where we help people with business development, with registration, with proposal development, I mean, just the entire procurement process, we come across various situations. In our coaching programs, in my coaching programs, there are individuals who have bid for years, like literally 10, 15, 20 a year, and they haven't won anything. And they're just like, well, maybe it's not for me. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Or, you know, maybe I don't know I don't know what I don't know. Right. And it oftentimes is this step. It's not targeting done right. So the first point that I want to share with you is that most established service businesses should start at SLED, not federal. It might hurt some hearts, but SLED is easier, it's faster, it's more secure in terms of what you may be looking for, those fast, quick wins. And it's teaching you business development. You see, business development is just another name for sales. Sales is essential for business growth. It's kind of like nobody has a business without marketing. You can't have a business without sales. You can't have a business without sales. And you can't have a profitable business, right? You could have a hobby. Where most people struggle is at the federal level when they're trying to understand not only how to contract, but how to present your message, how to be strategic, how to differentiate when there's thousands of vendors that are much bigger than you. Now, it's going to happen at the SLED level, it's going to happen at the state, local level, but you're building relationship. This is where you're kind of getting your wheels greased. Doesn't matter if you've been in business for 20 years. Doesn't matter if you've been in business for 2 years. SLED creates stacking. So we teach our clients and our students how to GovCon stack. And is GovCon stacking is essential to the entire life cycle of public sector. It's kind of like you wouldn't just have one client in your books. that you're serving and nobody else. Like that's very dangerous to the health of your business because that one client, if for whatever reason the contract's done or it changes or whatever circumstance that's out of your control occurs, now you're out. Now you're out. So you're always looking for relationships and building them and connecting them and serving the existing clients that you have and putting them into new solutions, new offers, new programs, and providing new services or adding more services to that relationship. And in order to do that, you have to be doing business development. You have to be doing marketing. Well, what does marketing and business development look like on the public sector? That is your messaging. Your messaging is huge in marketing. Okay. Understanding what you do, who you are, how do you say it? And it sounds so basic. This is why when I'm speaking with a business that has, have clients, it's so much easier because to get them the result because they already have 90% of the resources and the tools they need. They're just not utilizing them. They don't know how. So the who we are, who you are, what you do, what's your strengths, what's your value, what's your system, who you've served. I mean, just really basic things that you already know. Okay. The business development part is the relationship building. It's not just relationship building with procurement officers and purchasing directors. It's also business development with other contractors, having relationships with contractors that solve a problem before you get involved and after you get involved. Other contractors that are smaller than you and larger than you. This is how we hit all quadrants and build intentional relationships that are these are just planting seeds so that eventually they can grow potentially into a huge tree that can shade all of you. Federal, it's unless you understand not just the bidding process, not just contracting, not just Congress, not just acquisitions, not just federal acquisition regulations, and also your business and your pricing and your strategy, and the fact that federal is technical and SLED is relational. If you don't know all of those pieces, you feel like I kind of have an understanding. I mean, I did about 10 bids. That's not enough. We've done thousands. Okay. We've done thousands of bids. And there are clear delineations between a federal bid and a SLED bid, a federal contract and a SLED contract. Even though SLED contracts oftentimes has federal dollars in them, we want to understand the difference between the two. Yes, you can get a federal contract. Is it easier to get a SLED contract? Yes, that's what we're saying because there's shorter cycles, there's less competition, and it's a faster first win. Federal is the next step. It's not the starting line. And there is a lot of opportunity. In fact, you might just roll into federal naturally just by the relationships that you hold at the SLED level. It's really crazy. You get to see how your competitors, other contractors are bidding SLED and Fed. More than likely, as a service business, you will have, from my experience, you will have more SLED than Fed contracts. And if you're thinking to yourself, like, wow, I can't believe it. So at the SLED level, so the federal market, the federal agencies cumulatively spend $1 trillion a year, about 700 billion with small businesses. On the SLED level, it's equal to, if not more. So there's a lot of opportunities that are available to you right now that you can stack and then just make it easier for you to get into the federal market where they're very stringent on paperwork, compliance. I mean, you got to just dot your I's and cross your T's. Targeting is the second point that I want to share with you today because targeting is a decision. One of the challenges that I see business owners face is making a decision. It's not the thing, it's the decision to do the thing and only do the thing. I remember I had a conversation with just one of my clients' team members. This was years ago. And it's an eight-figure business, mid eight-figure business, and I was doing some consulting as just an external team member, and as part of my company where we are the external team members for many of the large enterprise companies, and so one of their team members asked the question and said, "Well, I mean, I guess we can just choose to do this today. And if it doesn't work out, then we can always choose to do something else." That's the problem. You see, when you make a decision, you eliminate all other choices. And I have a true belief for everyone that just walks this earth and have ever walked this earth that once we make a decision, we have to just go forward full throttle towards the thing to get that outcome. And many people think, well, what happens if I fail? I can always go back and do this thing. Well, see, that's not a decision. And the truth is that everything will work out. Right? Everything will work out because it just means that you can't see the outcome yet, but there is a result. So right now, if you don't have guidance, if you don't know what to do in government contracting, you can keep going. Eventually, it will work. It may take several years. It may take a lot of trial and error, but it'll eventually work. You might get lucky and get a contract. But the thing is, can you reproduce that outcome? Do you know why you won besides the feedback? Do you understand? Can you delegate it to somebody else? Or do you feel like I can't explain it because it's in my head, so I'm stuck doing it and this is why I don't want to do it? So, understanding like working with somebody that can guide you, handhold you through that process, give you, I don't want to say the shortcut because I don't like shortcuts, but the accelerated path to the outcome. I'd prefer that. I'd prefer that any day. And so many people just fight to make a decision because of their fear. See, fear doesn't fuel you like to your goals. You realize that. Fear only stops you in your tracks. Fear keeps you at delay. Fear keeps you at the crossroads of delay. When we're moving forward, when we're courageous, when we're moving with fear, like we're just taking action, we're going, making a decision gives us clarity. Because then our brain is not thinking of all the different ways it could be solved by the other options that are available. So now you've just quieted a ton of noise in your mind just by making a decision. That's how it works. You can look it up. It's just scientifically, that's how our brains work. We must make a decision. Just make a decision, even if you can't see the outcome, and just go. Just go as fast as you possibly can. Don't dally-dag. Don't question it. You've made a decision. This is how we increase our trust in ourselves too. So targeting, one of the step 2 of the GovCon sales strategy, why I believe it's so challenging is because it requires people to make a decision. Decision that you make opens up the search tool. It's not just looking on sam.gov or registering for some third party notification app that will tell you when the bids are out. You're too late. You could put a bid in, but realize you missed out on 8 months, a year, 5 years of intel that potentially your competitors have. So, understanding step number one, prepare is like, what do I actually sell? So, making a decision on that. Step number two is targeting, make a decision on who you want to sell to. So, there are state, local agencies, there are several types of buyer types within that. There are airports and schools and K through 12 and colleges and hospitals and utilities and clerk of court and I mean, there's so many civil and correction. Like there's so many agencies at the state and local level, and they're local to you. You may be considering opening another office. You might be remote working, so you could work with multiple locations. There are so many clients, agencies at that level. Then there's the federal, right? So, same thing. They have their departments within those agencies that function similarly to buyer types at the state and local level, but they buy differently. So, which agencies, which geographies, which procurement vehicles, because agencies at the SLED level buy differently. So, they have different vehicles. So, for example, a master service agreement, a continuing contract, they have an RFP, they have a clear RFP and RFQ process. You see that in federal, yes, but they do have RFBs and ITBs and source assignments and IDIQs. And so there are GSAs. And so like there's so many other vehicles to win to get a contract um, that you have to understand the agency before you can understand how to win a contract. And that decision is where most business owners lose before they ever submit anything. The third point I want to share with you today, we're actually really short today on Friday. So, the third thing I want to share with you today is that your existing private sector clients are your map. See, often people say, I don't have any government contract experience. I've never won a contract before. I don't know where to look. I don't know what to do. Da, da, da. Where should I start? Start with your assets. There's a story in the Bible about a woman who had oil. Her husband had died, and she went to the prophet and said, like, I have to pay this debt. The debt collectors are here. They're going to take my sons. What do I do? I don't have anything. And the prophet says, go in your house. Tell me what you got. She's like, all I have is just oil, just a bit of little oil. And he said, sell the oil, sell the oil. So she figures out to get all these jars collected by her neighbors and friends. She fills the jars with oil with her sons, and then she sells the oil. She has more than enough with leftover. Now, the prophet was just pointing out the asset that she already had, the thing that she overlooked, the thing that she didn't take any account or consider a value of any kind. She was freaking out about something, but she had the solution. She just didn't see that could be a solution. And when the prophet said, just sell it, she's like, oh, okay. Maybe she understood. Maybe she didn't understand. Like, I'm just going to do what you tell me to do, coach, right? You're coaching me out of a problem. I'm just going to do what you told me to do, regardless if I understand it, because you've been there before. And so, or, you can see the outcome because you're the prophet. You can see things that I can't. So she sells the oil and she lives off the rest, meaning that she had more than she thought she had. So when you look at your business, whether you've been in business for 2 years or 20 years, what are the assets that you already have that you're overlooking? This is a scam. I mean, this is a scan of everything. Everything that requires energy is an asset. If it's sitting on a shelf in your office, it requires energy because someone put it there. Someone has to dust it. right? It requires energy. If it's a file in your OneDrive or your Dropbox or your SharePoint, it requires energy. Because if somebody's putting it there, you're paying for it to sit there. If it's a video that you recorded years ago, it's an asset because it requires energy to exist. Everything, just identify everything, all assets. This is what we have an offer, and I'm not trying to sell you on right now, but like we have an offer that we call War Room. And we go into what's considered a war room with our clients virtually. Most of the time it's virtually. And it's just auditing all of your assets. See, because we've seen it before. We've seen how clients are winning contracts are like, how did they don't even know their value. I had one client of mine who we helped increase his backlog exponentially with government contracts. And he said to me, he goes, thank you so much for just giving us belief that we could do it. Thank you for showing us who we are. It takes that outside perspective. It takes someone standing outside to lift a mirror and show you in the light what is there so that you can see it. It's one of the most valuable offers that we have is the War Room because it just speeds everything up. It just accelerates the results in your business. So understanding your existing clients are your map. It is the guiding tool. If you're thinking to yourself, I'm overwhelmed. Who do I sell to? Who's buying? Who's this? Oh my gosh. What are you already selling? What are you, or what is it? If you put it together, it's almost like you're ciphering a map with what you've done so far. What are you already selling? Because it's literally going to outline a clear path to where you need to start. The agencies that fund, the regulations, the partners with the agency, within the industries that's already serving those clients. It's all there. You can see it. I had oh my gosh, I had another client. He was like, I want to win contracts. Like I just want to win government contracts. A part of one of our programs includes War Room. And it's a group program. This other offer that we invite people into. And he goes through the War Room section and he's like, whoa. I mean, he was just kind of blown away, but he's really quiet. The whole time he's really quiet. And it wasn't until after the second session is when he actually spoke up. He was blown away. And then he gets to the step 2 target is when we were talking about targeting and like find the buyers and then looking at your competitors in the marketplace, all this stuff. And that's when he was blown away. He was like, what? He's like, I had to tell you, Melinda. Like, I remember he's like, I have to say something. I'm like, okay, yes, go ahead. And he said, I have to tell you something. I had gone online and I didn't even know to do half the things you taught us to do. But the fact that I just looked at our competitors, the competitors that would go after this contract that I'm interested in, and I know what they look like. I'm like, they don't even have a proper website. They're not even doing any social media. They're not doing this. Da, 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 da. I'm looking at their proposal. I'm looking at their pricing, and I'm just like, this is doable. Like, that's the point. That's the point. When you do your due diligence, when you see things that are not hidden, like they're the hidden surface stuff, but when you go one level deeper, I mean, not even just that, one level deeper with guidance, you see so much opportunity and your confidence accelerates. Like, it's just like, I can do this. If they're winning contracts, I totally can win contracts because now I see how they're winning. I can see everything. I can see their contract, I can see their fees, I can see their proposal, I can see this, I know. And then what you said with the system, and all of it came together. He was elated. He was so excited. He couldn't even sit in his chair. It was just, he was so excited. He brought his daughter and his wife in the room. We were all remote, virtual on Zoom, and he was bringing them, he was showing them, and they were so excited. I mean, wouldn't you want to have that clarity? Just like, I love that. I want that for everyone. Because it just becomes a playground. It's just like, oh my gosh, I can do anything. And here's the thing, it gives you peace of mind. Like, it gives you peace of mind like nothing else. I mean, you're thinking like, how do I get to how, like, I'm here, how do I get there? And it's like you start seeing your brain just solves the problem. You have clarity after you make the decision. It's insane. So if you're an established business owner, if you're a business owner who has existing clients, you want government contracts, maybe you've been registered on sam.gov for a bit, maybe you hired here and there some VAs, some people to go get you contracts, but they didn't result in anything. Maybe you've been doing it on your own, trying to figure it out. And it's like, man, I'm not winning nothing. I invite you to attend our upcoming event, Real Business, Real Contracts. This is an virtual event. It's it's a 90-minute session where I actually walk you through how to do this and get you clarity so you can make a decision, the first decision, the most important one, and finally just free yourself. Like, just take all of the weight, the burden that's been on your shoulders for so long, and just help you order them in the right way so that you can just run in whatever direction that you decide on, not choose, you decide on, and just run. And that's my gift for you. So it's totally free to register. You can upgrade to VIP to get a better experience if you choose to do that. But it's up to you. And yeah, I it's one of the when you get to the landing page on Real Business, Real Contracts, there are questions. So it's not just name and email. There are questions. And the reason why is because we love, love, love over delivering and serving people in the room. So telling me what your business does and how long you've been in business, this is going to help us identify the right examples to share with you so that you can get clarity on your situation, your specific business. You're not like, okay, so how does this apply to my business? You'll know with clarity. So you can upgrade to VIP for even a more accelerated, more advanced experience. So you and I can talk directly about it. But you go to realbusinessrealcontracts.com to register, and I look forward to seeing you there. Thanks for joining us today. And if this was valuable, go ahead and give me a comment down below. Let me know what your takeaways are, and give me a like. All right, guys. See you next time.